All right, cool. Hey, for real, blockchain's going mainstream. For real. I'm like trying to change you guys. Hey, how many? Raise your hand if you. Do you remember the 2017 cycle? A few of you here can remember that one? Yeah. David remembers the 2009 cycle. Yeah. Well, back then there was like a fake mainstreaming. So in 2021, we had a lot of NFTs. They got big. Some layer ones got big, and some games got big. Metaverse games, Axie Infinity. But before that, people were like, oh, Ethereum came out in 2015 and then to 2016. And just, there was no limit. It was quite inspiring seeing all the crazy projects. The scene was brand new. Ethereum opened up blockchain to stuff beyond financial transactions. And so the sky was the limit. Imagination was unlimited. And really so were resources, because there were no regulations around ICOs. So now every retailer, everyone could throw money at a project like they were getting in at the bottom floor. And all it took was a white paper, and sometimes not even that. So they were funded and they were taking off, but no one knew what spaghetti was going to stick on the wall, right? So we had like some layer ones that were big at the time that aren't big anymore, like IOTA and NEM. I remember that commercial or that website. A couple of privacy ones on the bottom, Ethereum in the middle there, of course. XRP came out around then. That was a specific use case. Hey, Bitcoin is for crypto money, but what about settling fiat money, right? So XRP was like, let's be the middle layer on chain to help settle fiat transactions. And then there was just a slew of very specific use cases. So real quick, wager. Oh, this is for gambling. We're going to be the gambling crypto. Ad shares. Oh, we're going to digitize and put all ad spending on blockchain. Game credits, you know what that one is. Oh, we're going to have the whole gaming world put on chain, and they're going to use our game credits. Guess what Einsteinium was? All scientific research should be funded and supported through our cryptocurrency, right? We're going to put scientific research funding on chain. And everyone thought, hey, because blockchain makes everything more efficient and secure, and like it democratizes who can get involved at the ground floor, like this is going to be an explosion in all of these industries, and all the prices are going to go down, or how to operate in these industries, because everything's going to be made much more efficient. Well, my personal favorite is VinChain, because I threw a couple of Ethereum at that one, which at the time was only a couple $100, but still. And that is for vehicle information, VinChain, like your VIN number. Right? Oh yeah, we need a blockchain just for this. So use the VinChain app, plug in, they actually had some hardware, plug in your device into your car's computer, and we're going to read, like, if you've had your car worked on or if there's been an accident, all that information that goes to the insurance companies. Well, just like today, we complain about Facebook and YouTube selling our information to advertisers. They were saying, well, why don't you get paid directly for that information that goes to these insurance companies? And Ethereum was like, yeah, why not? So get their app, get their device. And then they offered, I don't know where they aggregated all this data in retrospect, like where we went back and got this data. But they did vehicle history reports, and they actually worked. Like I actually spent a few of my VIN to get a vehicle history report for a used car that I was looking at. And I thought, wow, there's utility, there's a piece of hardware, there's software, of course, and the team seems pretty cool, and they're well funded. Like this thing's going to go to the moon. I'm like, man, I'm set. Well, I got mooned all right. It went to the moon. I'd rather have those easy. And a lot of these projects were like that. Oh, this is my intro to the next slide. So where have we seen this before? where there's a new technology that no one really knows because it's brand new, what's going to work, what's going to stick, what's not, and use like the very specific application of the technology in every little industry. Well, it reminded me of the dot-com bubble, right? And everyone thought 99, 2000, oh, everything's this is the mainstream of the internet, right? So there's going to be a website for pets and a website for grocery delivery and one just for toys. And Flues was actually a digital currency pre-Bitcoin. I don't remember how it worked, but I remember Whoopi Goldberg was their spokesperson. The Globe was like we'll help you build websites or something. Well, all that burst. And today, though, we do have some left. Thank you. And the point I'm making is that wasn't the actual mainstreaming of the internet. This was 20 years later. Now, everything moves faster today, so it won't take blockchain another 20 years from even that 2017. And now the top 5 companies, I mean, now NVIDIA is up there. This is dated. But Amazon, Alphabet, and Facebook, all internet-based. So today, of all those, some might say Dash is still around, but XRP, Monero, and Ethereum are still there. And of course, Bitcoin, obviously. And so are the industries that you're going to see today. One more industry that I want to mention before I'm done about blockchain becoming mainstream is that around law. That is one that MNblockchain has become very close with. Of all the industries in the state, we thought maybe it'd be med tech, we thought maybe retail. No, it's been law firms. So 3 of our largest corporate sponsors, the largest Quantum Lex, are all law firms. The events we've done with St. Thomas, we've had 2 large events the past 2 falls with St. Thomas School of Law. Worked with Representative Emmer. He always speaks at those events. We've had political candidates come speak. We've worked with DIFA, the lobbying organization for digital innovation. Jason and Terrapin. Terrapin couldn't be here tonight. They're one of our sponsors, but he wanted me to pass along that he's a swell guy. So just know that about Jason, yeah. And the last thing I'll mention is that we've worked with Stand With Crypto. They were a sponsor of ours at this event last fall, and this spring, just a month ago, not even, me and Brooke, Performix, sponsor tonight, they flew us out there, and we met. This is our central cohort, representatives from the states surrounding Minnesota. And this is us meeting with Representative, I think, Pocan out of Wisconsin, the Madison area. And at the end of the day, Brian Armstrong, Senator Lummis, and Gillibrand had a good but brief, unfortunately, panel discussion that we all attended for the reception. I mentioned them as to point out that industry again of law and government, but to also point out that while they have a representative for Ohio, a chapter president, I should say, a chapter president for Wisconsin, that's Ian McCullough, a chapter president for Michigan, they don't have one for Minnesota, and they wanted me to ask, or just state that they're seeking someone to step up to be the Stand With Crypto chapter president. So Stand With Crypto is the large lobbying nonprofit funded largely by Coinbase, but other tech companies as well. And they'd love someone to help put Minnesota on the map and be more active here in our state. So with that, I wanted to leave that note of mainstreaming. We'll now move on to the featured speakers of the night who'll demonstrate their version of blockchain going mainstream. Thanks. Amber?